everybody, and welcome to episode number 5 of the D.M.C podcast with your hosts, Cody Hunter and the legendary Adam Rigby. How are you doing, my brother?
Mate, on fire, my bro. Inspired and grateful to be here. Pumped, obviously, each and every week to be able to have a chat to you, my brother. We chat during the week anyway, but this is always a special occasion because we're hyped.
Oh, mate.
We're hyped for it. Oh, mate, aren't we always though? Hey, that's us. As people get to know us, they'll know we're like this. On off, 2 speeds.
Mate, I tell you what, I do like the fact that we're both supporting fresh fades for Friday, mate. Fresh Fade Friday is what it's all about. I must admit I was getting a little out of control last week, so it feels good to be back in my normal environment, aka fresh fades.
Always looking sharp, and those of you who did have the visuals last week, Cody did wear a hat because he was quite concerned about the do. He lifted the hat and showed me, and it still looked sharp.
Oh, I don't know about that, mate. Well, I didn't feel sharp, mate.
Looking sharp as always, mate. Looking sharp, but feeling is how you feel that makes a difference, eh? So what's the skinny been, mate? Over the last week, how's our feedback been? Lots of people talking to us.
Yeah, mate. I've been getting some sneaky little messages actually, which has been really good, which I've obviously shared to you as well. From people from way back. People in it was good to get a message from a guy back in my first gym from South Korea, which was in roughly about 2010. He dropped in for a little message and just to say he's been listening and really enjoying it. Some other guys here as well that have been really enjoying it, just pumped for the next one. Phone calls yesterday to say, hey, I'm just finishing up episode 4, looking forward to the next one coming out. So really cool. People are, from what I'm getting feedback on, bro, people are really enjoying the free sort of approach to what we do and just let those DMCs flow. There's no major agenda to each of our calls or our podcasts. It really is maybe a bit of an underlying theme and idea that we have for the day, but really we just let it go to where it goes, right? Which has been really cool. How about you, bro? Much feedback?
Yeah, same, mate. I mean, like as we discussed before, the feedback has been great, but also, people are taking the time to listen to it and also hearing that people are applying some of the learnings. So to say, yep, we listened to it, it was great, and this really worked for me, which is magic. Some stunning examples of mindsets and occasions or competitions or challenges people are facing, hurdles people are facing, and applying some of the things we're talking about, helping them make sense of things they are trying to overcome, has been outstanding. As we always said, if we can communicate and just connect with one person who's struggling, man, job done for us, eh? And the message is quite plain and simple. If you think it's a value to you, do you know people who could benefit from it as well? And we'd love to be able to communicate with them and chat to them as well. So thank you so much, humbly from the bottom of my heart and our hearts, eh? Thank you so much for the level of support and the feedback. It means a huge amount to us. We're showing up for you guys, for each other, and the fact that it's making an impact, man, has been unreal. Tingly, you just get tingly when you hear that someone is communicating to that and saying thank you to you, when all you're trying to do is fulfill your own, not so much destiny, but you're following your path, trying to be as follow your spirit, do what comes, I guess, naturally to us now. Having navigated stormy seas.
Hold up, which will always be there one day. But brother, I like the idea. I like the word you used before when you said applied, right? So I used to use this acronym a lot when I was teaching English, when I'm coaching at the gym, and it rolls around the LPA, right? So just a little breakdown of how this works in my mind. So L stands for learn, right? So we're learning new things. Whether it's in the gym, you're learning how to move well, you're learning movement. If it was English, you're learning new words and vocabulary, etc. Then the P was for our practice, right? Which we practice. You practice at home, you might practice in closed doors, you might practice with friends. But the true magic of all this stuff here is the A, which is application. You're not going to get better at speaking a language if you're not applying it in your everyday life or in everyday conversations. You're not going to get better at developing positive habits in your life if you're not applying them every day, if you're not reminding yourself, hey, shit, I've got to get this thing and apply it. And when with regards to fitness, it's applying your fitness, your movements, your strength, your skills to things in everyday life that make you happy. So I love that whole application process. And that's how I personally am very wired. I need to learn things. I need to practice it on a daily, and then it needs to be applied for it to really get sunk in here, to become a daily practice where you don't have to think about it anymore. It's automatic, And so that's, I love that. I love that application vibe that you said, that people are starting to apply the things they're learning, which is what it's all about. Can't just sit in the room and know the knowledge, got to apply it.
It's in the doing, eh? It's in absolutely fronting up and getting it done, not just sitting back and maybe imagining what it would feel like, or thinking, yeah, I could do that without actually doing it. There's been some funny stuff, I've been watching a whole lot of stuff. I finished yet another book. My man came hot off the heels, obviously. The 4 Agreements was amazing. I followed up with a 5th agreement, blew my mind. So if you are in the process of reading the 4 Agreements, wait for it, let it land, then the 5th agreement will take you on this magical journey, which helps you apply those other agreements. But yeah, finish that just in a total head spin, just feeling amazing and energized, and knowing that this is the path for me. Hearing some of the tools that we talked about, mindfulness last week, that I have actually been unwittingly or unknowingly applying anyway in my life, is validation that I'm on the right path. And it's been super cool watching a couple of TED Talks, even, because I'm in between books at the moment. You've recommended one, which I'll pick up and have a crack at that. But I thought, let's hear what other people, because we're a network, the well-being is all about a network, health and fitness is all about a network, being kind is all about a network, gratitude is all about a network. So, we're part of it, you are part of it, and that's what we've got to do. The more we align our way of thinking, our level of thinking, the more we process all of these positive emotions and feelings and generate positive emotions and feelings and send them out, the network grows and the world does become a better place. And that is our mission. Clear, plain and simple. Make the world a better place. Just be a GC.
Yeah, mate. And starting with those small gains there. We can't emphasize that enough, where it really is, we always talk about that comparison to other people, but remember to deliver on what you can do and what you can achieve and how you can make the world a better place, or your life a better place, is where we need to start, right? The 4 walls that we live in, what can you do to improve that a tiny percentage, and just do that on the daily and be proud of those wins. We talked about that again in the past. It's like, if making your bed is your win for the day, awesome job, man. Take that win and be proud of yourself and just work on that. And don't think that, that's what we say, the social media, seeing all these people delivering and donating millions of dollars and all these things, it's all relative to that individual. Do you know what I mean? Your skill and your things that you're delivering and helping people with is all relative to what tools you have, the energy, your time, all these things. So take it as, agreement number 4, do your best. It's your best. If it's your best, no one else can question that. If it's on you, 100% if it's on you, be proud, stand tall and be proud of it.
Yeah, I looking back on the podcasts, things that I love, I share vocally by saying, I love that and I love that. I love that a lot. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not afraid to tell people that I love them either. And if we can do a little more of that, man, just imagine the feeling. Talked about smiles, if all you can do is share a smile, it'll make someone's day. The byproduct of a smile is just usually another smile, and everybody perks up. That's that connection, that little level of energy, that little step up to remind people of the great things, the gratitude. And I'm grateful for being able to share smiles with a lot of people coming hot off a massive weekend of inspiration at Ironman New Zealand, going up and remembering all of the stuff, seeing the struggle, the battle from the top of the field to the back of the field. It's a big day. It is a complete day, 17 hours they have to complete this event, and just watching it and unravel from the sunrise to the sunset and well beyond. Miraculous. miraculous, seeing the different shapes, sizes. You know, people have this, when we talk about fitness, people have this assumption, never assume, that they're going to be all shredded athletes and I can never do it. Go to one of these events, team, if you've never seen it. Taupo, New Zealand, beautiful, beautiful place of the world to be. Just go and stand by the side of the road and support everyone that's doing it. Man, amazing. And I can talk more about it a little later as we unfold the message about stormy seas and a couple of things we want to talk about today. But yeah, just you cannot help but be inspired and see how strong people are, but also how when they waver, how simple things can get you back on track. And a couple of amazing, you know, when you're in tune to motivation, when you're in tune to mindfulness, when you're in tune to being kind, when you're in tune to gratitude, you start to hear more positive things. You notice that? So I don't know whether it's that vibration, but previously, if you're a positive guy and you go into a negative room and you start talking positively, we've discussed it before, people will always assume there's something wrong with you, and there's that resistance to it. Even if someone's not feeling, if you want to tell a joke. Now, the purpose of telling a joke is why? To make people relax, maybe laugh a little, okay? To ease tension. But if someone's in the wrong state of mind, there can be resistance to that. It's the same. If you go in with positive energy, there can be resistance to that positive energy. So always super kind of mindful of that and those moments. I was freaked out, amazed. I just reconnected to all of those beautiful things about the human spirit, about what make us these wonderful, complex machines, and reinforcing that with reading and motivation. But yeah, hearing some cool things like opening up online, just, you know, and the search now, if you're looking for mindfulness rather than just escapism, you're going to click on a TED talk. You're going to find out about a Shaolin monk. You're going to find out about motivation. You're going to find out about self-confidence, and you're going to hear things like the most important step is the next one.
Yeah,
you know, things like that resonated. I'm like, shit, yes, because we were talking about showing up. The most important step was the first one, and then after that, it's the next one, and every step after. That's what it's about for us. Keeping momentum, keeping moving, staying positive.
Mate, big time. Remember, what you say and what you listen to is what you'll become, right? So even if you're not necessarily soaking it in at the time, like we're saying, the audiobooks and the podcasts and all these things are feeding your mind. You won't always be sitting there going like, oh yeah, that's right. Or attending the events, you know, attending the Ironman, all these different things, but they are shaping you. You won't know it at the time, but all this information, all these books, all this content is feeding your mind, and you can control that content and choose the right stuff, or you can choose the wrong stuff and let it just continue to feed you, and you become that person or you become this person. But the more you do, the more it soaks in, and you just notice it. Like you said, you start walking around and seeing things in a different light. I was just discussing it the other day about, like, you know, when you're in traffic or you're driving and someone's clean up your ass, right? They're what do you call it? Like, I don't even know, tailgating or whatever it is, and they're right up your ass. You're like, you know, Number one, follow the rules, follow the understanding. Don't take that shit personally. You don't know what's going on in the life of that person up your ass right now. You know, the assumptions that can start coming in. For all you know, that person's got someone at home that's on their deathbed, or they've got an emergency that's happened, or they might just need to go to the bathroom. Maybe they're just in an emergency to use the bathroom real badly. So you could either sit there and make it your mission to make sure you make their life as shit as possible by slowing down all the way. Again, hey, don't get me wrong, they could also just be an asshole, right? Like that's truly the case. But what can I control in this environment? I can't control them. I don't know what they're up to, but I could just be like, hey, I'm just going to take the benefit of the doubt and say they need to get somewhere faster than I do. I'm going to pull that bad boy over, let them ride on. Because if I am slowing them down from seeing something or someone or caring for someone that's in an emergency, I would rather feel that I help them than become just as much of an asshole as they are. And if they are an asshole, hey, no issue to me either. I don't. What's the problem? I've let them through. I'd rather think I've helped someone rather than just try to fight back. You know, the old tension on. Let's go, bastard. You're not beating me. So I think that's the sort of, those small things of mindset is all of a sudden you've gone from being a reactive, angry dude in traffic to being like, hey man, I don't need to get anywhere as fast as you obviously do. So just take it. Away you go. Away you go.
Yeah, yeah, I get you, mate. And it is funny about traffic. We go out and we do take it personally. Like the person in front of us that's maybe merging slowly, we have a go at them when it's the entire situation. It's the entire journey, the day they've had the accident up the road. The person in front takes it. It's not their fault, but you absorb all of it, and depending on what type of mood you're in, you just fire up. That's when you just need to relax. They're not doing it. People aren't doing it intentionally just to piss you off. What is your mindset in that space? You know, just relax. Why are you in such a hurry? If you're always late, leave earlier, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And there are things called little technology called phones if you want to use it. If you do have a hands-free, if you can communicate, you can send a text hands-free also, and just let people know that you are late. Use a navigation tool to tell you exactly when you are going to be there. You know, it'll tell you if there are traffic delays, it'll divert you. Let the technology work for you in this instance. But
big time.
Yeah, just relax. That, mate, one of the funniest things I've got to tell you. So we talk about the process of learning, and one thing I have discovered, actually the path is actually about unlearning. You know, so what we're actually doing now is we're unlearning all of the things that have been forced upon us, because we only know what we have been taught, okay, what we have walked through. We only believe what we have been told, potentially not what we have experienced. So for us, it's to go out and experience it ourselves, to learn for ourselves, unlearn the stuff that's been passed on to us, whether it's tragedy, whether it's, you know, rules, or, you know, we come out this bundle of joy and love and into the universe, and you know it. You know, when you hold your baby, you realize what that's all about. We've talked about that before. Your love, your light, you're all these great things, and slowly, daily, we're pre-programmed, reprogrammed, and we talked about that in great detail. And then Rigby fired up. But that's it. It's about unlearning, unpacking all of these things that we assume, all of the assumptions we have. Unlearn it. Find the path for yourself. Investigate for yourself. If you want knowledge in a conversation, the fifth agreement, you know, be skeptical, but always learn to listen. So someone is talking to you, telling a story. It is their truth. It is what they have been told. Listen. It'll tell you more about the person rather than the situation. All you have to do is absorb it. And then if you want to learn for yourself and investigate, rather than take that as the absolute truth, because it's not. I mean, what is the truth? We are the truth at the end of the day. A situation, a story is just only that, a person's version. And that's where that little gossip comes in. But some super good learnings. But in saying that, having read a little more about the learning and unlearning, and I was thinking, what's that quote? What's that movie from? And I'm like, Empire Strikes Back, Yoda. And when Luke Skywalker is trying to lift his ship out of the swamp, and he's going, I can't do it. And there, he goes, there is no, what does he go? There is do, or there is do not. There is no try, right? But he goes, and he actually specifically directs to, it is not about learning, it is about unlearning. You know, I mean, some Star Wars freak will correct me on that, but exactly that. Who knew that Yoda, you know,
Yoda's
obviously,
the man.
Yoda, the mantis. Good things come in small packages.
Yeah.
But exactly that. Direct lines about mindfulness, about spirituality coming through this wonderful being of energy and light, the light side of the force, Yoda. Wowzers. Previous to me not being on this journey, I just thought that was cool little movie speak. There is do, or there is do not. There is no try. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's why you got to go back and rewatch all that stuff, eh? Like when you rewatch things in a different mindset. What are you open to receive when you change it up, there's amazing how different things are. Your outlook on all of it, a situation, a memory,
Oh
an
yeah,
approach,
bro.
everything. Hey.
Yeah. And so much of the reaction is determined by what we carry into situations, like we talk about the stress of life, the things that have been passed on to us. So our reaction can be hectic or frantic or negative. One challenge I did pass on, because we're recording this on April the 1st, aren't we? April Fool's Day.
Yeah. Yep.
And I did issue a little challenge. I literally said to a room of people last night, hey, instead of trying to trick someone, try and do something nice. Try and do something beautiful. Try and make a difference tomorrow in someone's life. Instead of trying to mislead, how about lead?
Yes.
You know,
I love that.
be a leader on days like this. So why intentionally be misleading or trick someone to make someone feel bad when you can get up and you can make someone feel good?
Yeah.
So April Fools becomes April Cool. Let's just go out there and be better people, you know, spread that love and joy, man. I'm all about it. We are all about it. Be about it.
Mate, just think if you set an intention every day to go out and connect and improve someone's life, even for that second or whatever it is, a conversation. It's like we said about putting the phone down and like being present around even strangers. It doesn't even matter, but imagine being able to just say something or give someone some hope or say something like that where you're bringing it back in. I mean, that's so powerful, but you set the intention on a daily basis and you go out and you do it. I mean, that's golden. That is golden. And every one of us does that one time, 2 times a day. Even like we said, a small smile to someone who maybe hasn't been smiled at for months.
Yeah.
How good is that?
And if you're going, you go through your day, you know, when someone pops into your head out of a circumstance, you think, oh, I wonder what so-and-so's up to. Just flick them a message and say, hey, how are you? Haven't seen you in ages. You might get a short message back saying, great, how are you? Expand on it. If you want to catch up with them, if they are someone important to you in your life, then make time. Make the time, check in. They may have, I mean, the universe works in funny ways, right? It finds a path for us. Make time to actually investigate. Why have they popped into your head? For a reason, a thing, a person, an event, a time. There could be a very, very good reason. Intuition is a funny thing. It's funny the way the universe works. Could have popped into your head and said, yep. And they'll go, oh, mate, I'm having I'm okay. Do you accept that as an answer if you can feel that there's a situation where it's potentially negative? If people don't want to talk about it, it's going to be hard to get them out of a space. But sometimes just if you're down, someone checks and says, are you okay? That gives you the ability to reset as well and recheck. Check in with yourself and go, oh, feeling comfortable enough to say I'm not okay isn't cool, eh? And that's not, one thing that came up too, bro, is I asked someone, they said they'd listened. This was a lady that we work with, and she said, I managed to listen or start listening to the podcast. Really great stuff. Thank you. Men's health and communication is an issue. I said, oh, hang on a second. This is for everybody. This is not just about men. Men need to learn to communicate better with women. Women need to learn to communicate better with men. We need to understand each other. These are conversations that are not just man to man. Men's health, super important. Women's health, super important. Health of the planet, super important. You know, humankind, the direction that we're heading, man, nothing's more important. You know, we are an organ of the planet, part of its ecosystem. Without without us wandering around slowly trying to destroy it. Hopefully it's not too late for us, because time is ticking in, and I'm sure it's not, as things like this progress, as conversations like this, as we start to become more aware of each other, okay, the importance that people have in our lives, the importance of the planet that we live on, the simple things, the importance of doing stuff like recycling, you know, the importance of healthy eating, the importance of exercising, important of taking time off and spending time with the ones you love, the importance of loving as hard as you can while you can. All of that type of stuff pops up. So we love that people are listening and accepting us for who we are. The message is simple. This is for everybody. Don't just think because we are from a fitness background. Fitness has helped shape us certainly. It's given us the opportunity to talk to such a wide variety of people, to see people struggle. So I guess that's the thing, you know, you get to see people come in a variety of states and a variety of mindsets, with different objectives. We've done sporting events, but we've also lived a pretty great life at the end of the day. You know, reading books makes you kind of appreciate the whole gratitude that we were doing, point and shoot. I mean, is anybody doing that now? You guys, are you going out and pointing and shooting? One cool thing to take that to the next level, you know, if you do find yourself in that negative space and you're finding it hard to get through the gratitude, the point and shoot, do the pros and cons, okay? Things you're grateful for, potentially things that are challenges to you. Now, all I want you to do is write down the things that you are grateful for, tear the page in half, the other half screw it up and throw it in the bin, because, okay, that's not important right now. Now, we're going to focus on the positive stuff. That's what this is all about, because too many people go straight to the negative. That's the way we're conditioned. Pen, gone.
Hey, mate, on that one, like following on from that, the other day I was driving back from the pool with the kids and I was like, you know what, let's just reshape these kids a little bit. So I was like, okay, let's do a little gratitude circle. And I explained to the two, it was just me and the two kids. And I was like, let's, you know, one's 5 and one's 9. I said, let's go in the circle and let's just state the things you're grateful for right now. My daughter's like, of course, what does that mean? I explained to her, like, things that you love, things that make you happy, things that make you feel good. It could be people, things, experiences, whatever you want it to be. And so we go in the circle and we said 3 times each. So I started and I said something probably along the lines of, you know, going for swims with my kids, going for swims with you guys. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be able to do that. And it just went around in circles, and, you know, it would go down to, you know, mum's cooking. Awesome. Grateful for mum's cooking. You know, having, you know, being able to play with my mates or whatever it is. And we got 3 times through, and guess what, mate? They didn't want to stop. It just kept going. It was like a waterfall of gratitude. And it wasn't like, oh, I've done my task, it's game over. Once you do it that way, and that's why it is, you know, I do it on a daily with a journal, and I will admit it does become a little bit like, it's harder to start pulling things out, but do it with people you love. Like, do it in a verbal sense with your partner, your friends, your kids, and it just flows, and you get inspired more and more and more, and you create this little, you know, this little scenario that's just so awesome, eh? And the whole drive home, 20-minute drive home, was just on that theme. Super powerful, eh? And like, but you have to set that intention and set it up, like make it happen. It doesn't always have to be when you're feeling the best. It might be, hey, I'm not feeling the best right now. I'm going to set this intention and see if I can get, you know, get really focused on what I'm grateful for right now. And again, just a great tool, and it means so much, and you can feel good in an instant. You know, you can control that.
Incredible.
Click, boom, and it's powerful, eh? Very powerful.
Well, it is like a canal, very relevant to what's happening today, but it's a flow of energy. And as soon as we get that big container ship of negative emotion that blocks the canal, everything starts to back up and nothing gets through. So what we need to do is have a process where we just break it down. You know, how do we remove it? How do we get that energy flowing? And once it's open, it's amazing what starts to come up. And even the smallest things that we're grateful for, you know, a cat that comes and sits on your lap, you know, your favorite animal, the flowers, the sound of the birds, you know, the sun coming up, the sound of rain last night. And, you know, it's funny how we're shifting seasons. We get engineered into that negative. So when it's summer, what do we say? Oh man, it's too hot. God, it's too hot. I can't handle it. And then as soon as it's winter, oh, it's too wet. It's too cold. Hey, it's summer and winter. What's the point of complaining about something that's inevitable? Summer, it's going to get hot. Celebrate it. We love it. We love the heat.
Control the controllables.
Control the controllables. Why?
Yeah, mate.
Why fight? Why resist the inevitable with negative comments? Because it affects your mindset. Just roll with it, man. If it's hot, yeah, you can go indoors. You know.
It's funny because we talked about that, eh? Like, it's so easy to sort of, misery loves company. It's easy to state something that's whingy. But, and then when you do go out on the limb and you say the positive things, like you said, you're one of the crazies. You're the people that are like, oh, what's up with old mate over there, like walking on sunshine? You know what I mean? It's sort of, you're seen as a weirdo for being positive, where the negativity is normal. Oh, grumpy, oh mate, grumpy over there. Let's go join his party and have a little whinge about work and the life and the weather. Oh mate, how's this weather? Oh, it's mate, too cold, mate. You know, it's so funny. Eh? That's it. Negativity is louder than positivity. That's the sad reality of life right now. Negativity is way louder. It's everywhere. To find the good shit, you have to hunt. To find the bad shit, just open up any news station, any news page, any website, and straight away it's headlines about how shit the world is and what's going on. You know what I mean? You've got to find it. You have to hunt for the good shit.
Yeah, it's too easy to be down, like our mates, our mate David Goggins. You know, he was saying about society is conditioning us to be average and to be negative, to play that game. You know, billionaires don't get rich off people excelling. You know, they view it as a piece of their pie. So what do they want? They want to invent technology. They want to give us shortcuts. We love shortcuts. We're processed to take shortcuts. And so every piece of technology you think is designed to fast track the process of living and thought. Technology has progressed astronomically in terms of the tools we are using. What is it doing? It's actually stopping us from thinking, from doing, from feeling. And psychology has just remained not static, but it's not moving as quickly. So that's where we really need to invest our time. And sure, technology is critical. It's important because we rely on it. We've been conditioned to rely on it. But take it with a grain of salt. Use it when you have to, but otherwise invest in the other stuff, because that's where the biggest impact is.
And it's good because social media and all that, like we said, it can be a trap for many. Don't try to think that it's not going to be a part of your lives, because the reality is, like you said, technology, social media, everything, it's our life, it's our future, it's our kids' future. But use it the right way. It's like, it's a powerful thing. Look at us right now. We're using it. We're using YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram. We're using all these things to try to channel our message, and it can be used for the good. So don't try to shut it down and say, this is ruining my life. Well, again, of course, it can take hold of you. But if you want to use it, try to use it in a way that benefits others and sends a message that's uplifting versus just feeding shit. And I mean, again, you can get caught in the trap of the old skimming through everything for hours on end. Find your quitting strategies, but again, use it for the good of the world. It's very powerful.
Yeah, we skim through everything. We skim through conversations, and we put these insert one-liner here. Rather than actually going deep and deep diving. And sure, people don't have time, but just, how you going? How are you? How have you been? If you know, my wife is an amazing connector, knows everything about everyone because she asks the question. She'll know people in a room, what they're doing, what their jobs are, what their kids' names are. An incredible connector at a higher level than I can operate. And again, we talk about our head injuries, mate. There's a couple of things there that get in the way, but we have tools to overcome that. Yeah. Repetition. That's what we have to overcome it. But not letting little things like that get in your way. We talked about it before. Perfection. Perfection is an absolute illusion. It's the idea of perfection that is forced upon us. It's the idea of the perfect body, the perfect male. Do males feel as though they need abs? Do females feel as though they need to be a certain measurement to be perfect, to have a certain nose, to have a certain lip pout, or, dress a certain way? Yeah, we do. We all feel that pressure. People tell us it's cool to drink this drink. We'll drink this. That's perfection. People are, that documentary I talked about, it's all an absolute illusion. It's all an illusion. The real true perfection is actually you. It's us. We are perfect, just the way we are. We were born that way. We were created again out of love and light and energy, and we are perfect. We need to celebrate it.
Mate, keep talking. I've got to do something. I've got some kiddos in the background. Keep chatting, mate. I'm not going far.
And that's and he's out. And that's what we're all about. All of the stuff that piles upon us, and it's designed to make us feel as though, oh man, I need to aspire to do this, so I need to buy this, I need to do this, I need to be a certain way, I need to consume this. but I don't want to excel because why? Because people are going to start to cut me down.
Mate.
Bullshit. I call bullshit. Remember, we talk about it all the time. We do. Each of us has superpowers. You know, each of us has the effort, the energy, the intelligence, the beauty, the smarts, the soul, the intellect to do anything we put our mind to. If we go back to this repetition, we talk about people who are super confident or self-confident as opposed to arrogant. How do you become confident or carry self-confidence? It's like Cody was alluding to. We've got to practice. You know, how do we become confident in conversations? We practice. How do we become better at this? We're practicing by doing, right? We're actually doing it. But how do you become better at anything? Sport, life, reading. You have to have a commitment to continuously do it, step after step. And that's what gives you the confidence to do it. You step into situations where there are possibilities of failing, and that's okay. Failure is okay. It's not failure is not an option. Failure is always an option. You know, there are things we can try our absolute best. We can go into events as sharp as we've ever been, and things don't go our way for whatever reason. You know, simple things can get in the way. Failure is always an option. It's how we deal with it. It's how we unpack it. We talk about processing the failure and using it to gain self-confidence for the next time we take on that challenge. And it's a high likelihood that you will.
Right. It's funny, like the whole failure side of things. So it is that whole, it's a thing that can occur, but it's not who you are. And speaking from experience over the past little while of business and all the stuff I've done overseas, and the ups, the massive ups, and then the heavy downs. And it's really something you've got to, like you said, process, right? So you get to a point where then you feel like you're the failure. So of course something failed, but you're not the failure. It's just that situation or that business or that whatever you wanted to try to do, it failed. It didn't work out. You know, and again, it's always an option, and it happened, and it happens. But then, trying to like come out of that. And I suppose speaking from personal experience, it's not always super easy. You know, where you see, you know, people see you as something or see you the way that you were or the things that you achieved, then all of a sudden that's gone and you're in a different boat. And like for me, processing this whole move to New Zealand from being overseas, doing what I was doing, mate, there's feeling of failure. You feel like you're a major failure. You're like, what have I done? Like, how did I go from here to here? And again, but it's a way that you process it, and it can be ongoing. For me, this has been an ongoing journey of trying to get back to, you know, trying to process things and understand where it was and where you are now and what needs to happen to get to, you know, whatever level you want to get back to. But mate, I think the whole awareness of it all is really important, but understanding like that's a failed situation, but it's not who you are. I think that's something that I've struggled to come to terms with. That's why I say it as in, you know, I'm sharing those words, but I'm still struggling with that myself. And it's not just a flick of the switch always. But it's something that, you know, you've just got to continuously work on. You've got to practice. And what can you do to practice? You got to find the tools, you got to find the processes and the ways to snap your shit out of that so you can carry on. You know, I was waking up for a while there on a morning basis, and I would just list all my failures as soon as I woke up. Negative. And people that might know me, might see me at the gym or wherever you see me, be like, there's no way that's how you wake up. Hey, for years, it's how I woke up. Wake up, fuck, I've got to do that. I failed that. That's screwed up. This is a mess. That's gone. That's blah, blah, blah. And you just sit there and go through your morning schedule, waking up like that. Like, how can you do that? You can't start your day like that, right? So finding practices on how to get over that was something that I had to work on for ages. And I installed the help of a friend of mine. And I'll tell you the practice of this one specifically, because I think it's really good and it helped me in a major event. And so the practice of the morning wake up, the way I got over this particular thing of starting the day was big sheet of paper, list out all the negative things you tell yourself first thing in the morning. List them all out. You failed that, this is a mess, you've lost that, you've done this, write them all down on a sheet of paper. And he said to me, now I want you to go stick that on the bathroom wall. The first room you go into in the morning, stick it on the wall. and I was explaining this to someone, they thought it was hilarious, but it works. Every morning you go into the wall, whatever thought comes into your brain, physically pull it out of your brain. So grab it, grab that thought. Don't ignore it. Don't try to say it didn't happen. Take it, look at it, say it again, and then like throw it on the wall and stick it there. Because it's not disappearing. It's going to always be there. But let's just put it, like we said, and you've said before too, put it in its place. Park it. Take it off and park it for now. Because I'm not going to do anything about it. In fact, it's not really something you can probably do something about. It's more about giving it its place. Pull it out, put it on its place. And I just did this continuously. Whatever would come in, and you'd walk in, park it. Because then when I walk out of that room, I haven't tried to gloss it over and forget about it. It's like, hey, look, I've just put it over there. I'm not going to, I've got, park it in this place where I can leave it and I can come back to it later, or maybe just that's where it lives. And over time, bro, it just stopped. It worked super well. There's an action to it. There's a practice to it. I put it in its place, and then I could carry on my day without being in this like head down, like failure mode, and far, mate. Good exercise. And I highly recommend that for anyone that needs that shit.
Yeah, and it is tough. I got asked last night actually by a young fellow who said, mate, do you ever have bad days? Do you have days when you're not motivated? I said, mate, of course I'm human, but I know I'm better than those moments. When the pressure comes on, it's great to have a purpose. Like I say, that is always going to get me up in the morning. Do I struggle some mornings for a variety of reasons like everybody else? 1000% yes, but I know ultimately I am better than those moments, and I can overcome it, because in terms of the challenges that are available in the world today, it is not even on the edge of my fingernail. Relative to the struggles people put up with. Get over yourself in those moments. Get out, get it done. Why? Because there's a whole day of opportunity unfolding, and I'm up and about, and I get to do something I really love. Connect, share energy, share joy, express love for people and movement, exercise, all of those types of things that I get to do daily. Do a job that I really enjoy, that still has challenges, but ultimately when it comes down to it, checking in and helping people. That's what we do. So be better than those little micro moments, because that is all it is. It's a little hesitation. All you got to do is warm that engine up, give it a couple of revs, pump the fuel through,
bang it a couple of times. Hey, I love the word you use, bro. I just want to say I just caught the language you used then, and I didn't even know if you knew you said it, but you said all those beautiful things I get to do, and not have to do. You never said you have to do those things. The beautiful things you get to do. And that's a big one. I have to pick my kids up from school. Yo, man, do you know how many people would love to be able to pick their kids up from school on a daily basis? And you're sitting there complaining about that, mate. Like, you get to do it. You get to work out. Again, how many people would love to work out? How awesome is it that you have to schedule the time? You've built your life around being able to do that because you want to do it. And we've talked about it in the past. I think we have on a podcast. We've covered so much of it, but awesome language, bro. Being impeccable with your word. Following on with agreement number 1.
Like I say, be about it. Be about it. Think about it, because you're right. Be impeccable with your word. You are impacting people, but also the perception of yourself, how people perceive you, or you want to be perceived in situations. Am I about energy? The fact that what some guy said, do I ever have bad days? Yeah, absolutely, I do. But the great thing for me is that meant that I don't carry that with me. So, I don't walk in with my shoulders rounded, my head down and trying to avoid eye contact. I want to engage. I want to enlighten. I want to share conversations. There was a guy that wanted to talk to me about the podcast on the way in, and I had a chat to him, which was amazing. Cool little chat. About a couple of things and some of the things that he was thinking, oh shit, and he re-listened to it. And we talked about that last week, hey bro, how I was re-listening to some of the chapters in the book, the Matthew McConaughey book, Green Lights, listening to the back chapter, because I thought there was some critical learning in there, and I don't think I gave it the time or justice. So what I want to do is check in with those books again and read. But that was amazing. It's amazing what I could pick up, and I'm like, oh, hang on a second. Yeah, that's right. That sticks. That's come through. That resonates with me. And this whole conversation team, give it time. Come through it with us. There'll be things in this that resonate to you. If we get there in time, I know we talk about a whole lot of stuff. We're talking about embracing, at the moment, I guess, those failures that we all come up against that do weigh heavy. I've failed many, many times. And an interesting way to look at it, in those moments of failure, where are you projecting it? What are you concerned about? Are you concerned about what other people think? Is it personal? Or are you saying, the feeling as though you've let people down in those moments? Because if you've let people down, or you feel as though you've let people down, what is your reason for truly doing it? Are you doing the activity for other people? Is this the path you are supposed to be on? Are you doing it for yourself? Because at the end of the day, the people that surround you support you regardless. Outstanding victory or a failure in your eyes, they will love and support you regardless. I know that my team, my partner, my friends, my wife, my kids would wait for me, whether I did 9 hours in an Ironman or 17 hours. They would stand by the road, they would support me undyingly, and they would love me unconditionally when I got to the line. So yeah, think about those moments, are we in the right position? Process the failure, because it's an opportunity for us to learn. We've taken steps, we've challenged ourselves to a point, where potentially we may not have been ready for it. We may have been looking way too far ahead. We weren't in the moment. I've been doing a lot of investigation about, endurance events or anything, stamina, where the main thing is, we have these long-term goals. People are looking way too far ahead and forgetting about what they're doing in that moment. If you're in a moment doing something that's critical to you, why outside externally are you projecting, I hope that they don't think I'm a failure. I hope that I look good to them. This is about you, your journey, what you are doing, because it is being the best version of yourself. And when you do that, everybody's aboard, right? Everybody that you love and support and love you is on board. So remove that. Remove that feeling that as though you're letting people down. You are not. You are there. And that's the main thing. 50%, show up. You did the work. You got yourself into a situation. It doesn't matter whether it's an audition, acting, work, sports event, anything. When you get to the start line, if you feel as though you are failing, you are in a long line of successful people that have failed multiple times. J.K. Rowling's turned down 12 times, for Harry Potter, the script. 12 times, I think. And look at the astronomical success of those books, of those movies, what it's meant to so many people. The cult, the iconic figures that these have become. She was told multiple times. Now imagine if she had stopped at 1 or 2. One's hard, right? You can think, okay, I'll do it again. And people are continuously saying no. Imagine if she had stopped and those books never came to light. Some people would argue it was a good thing, others.
Yeah.
But, she had a story to tell. She was passionate about it. She believed in it. She devoted her life's work to it, regardless of the fact that it made her incredibly wealthy. I don't think that was the whole point of the exercise. It was about getting her story told, the story that she had, again, invested time in her life and her passion for writing, and seeing that as this global phenomenon must be amazing. The objections, continuous, the perceived or perception of failure. She didn't say, that's not a failure. That's just a little bit of a roadblock. That's just another step I have to take. I will knock on another door, because she knew there is another opportunity. And that's what we've got to do. Remove the roadblocks. Failure, normal. We will do it as humans. It means you are trying. Okay?
You're playing the game. You're in there.
Celebrate the failures. Celebrate the failures. They will lead to successes.
Yeah, that's right. And I think for an experience from my own experience, I think understanding your intention of it all. I mean, I'm saying it a lot these days, but it really is something I find very powerful, is that I never set, in terms of my business failures, I never set an exact intention or target or goal, or I didn't really understand where it was going. So that meant that if it got thrown off the hinges, or it went in a way that I didn't understand, where you just get caught up in the moment. It's like, hey, hold on, is this in line with where we're going here? Like for J.K. Rowling, for example, if you said, look, I'm going to take 1,000 failures, I don't give a damn, this is happening, right? Then you've got it's just, what's happening. Boom, here we go. Boom, boom. You've got to expect thousands of no's. You've got to expect, it's like in sales, expect all the no's. Don't expect the yeses, expect the no's, and then the yeses will come, right? So I think understanding, like if you're about to set up something, you're about to go for something, number one, there will be failures, but know like that you're sticking to it. This is what you believe wholeheartedly. I believe this is what people need to see or hear or do. And like we said, the one person will buy in who you see at the gym and they say, hey mate, your podcast is sick, I'm enjoying it. Who cares about the others that maybe haven't listened or they don't know yet? The time will come. But you know that you're going forward no matter what. Like we didn't say we're going to do this podcast, and if we don't get anyone listening, or if we don't get 100 people subscribing by week 5, we're just going to quit. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't. It's to show up each and every week, pump it out. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And it means that the process is what you're focusing on, which is what this is all about. We're focusing on the process.
Focus is the moment. The focus is the content. The focus is the conversation. 100% for us. The fact that we have people listening and enjoying the content is unbelievable. It's real for us. Do we take it personally? 100%. But this is all subjective. People listen and see and feel and hear different things. There will be resistance to some of the stuff. That's great, because it means it's something you may not have heard before, or you may not have heard it, an issue presented to you in this way. This is the way we think. This is the way we unravel challenges. So getting perspective on the way other people think will help you overcome the challenges, to remove objections, the obstacles, the failures in life. Celebrate the fact that you are there. It doesn't matter. The process is all about it's the journey, right? Not necessarily the destination, mate. We all get to the end of this life. We're all going to tap out at some stage. What we've got to focus on is jam-packing every day, every step, the most important step, the next step, every step, with everything and anything we can, meaningful connections, meaningful conversations, failure after failure, success, learning, living, loving, just embracing all these amazing things that we have the opportunity to do. And if you are passionate about something, and I had this chat to a young lady last night, if you are passionate, nothing will get in your way. Carry that with you. If you've got that, if you always carry that with you, not a seed of doubt, it's that one moment that got you to the start line. That one thing, whether it was a sentence, whether you heard it here, something that someone told you, something you saw, carry that with you. What did that unlock in you? Why? We talk about the why all the time. Why are you there? Our why. I know why. For me, I know why. This has been the blinding flash of inspiration and enlightenment, which I think is incredible to be on that journey. The process of unlearning rather than learning, investigation, acknowledgement, understanding. Have Cody and I made mistakes many times? Have we failed many, many times? But we're here. We're now. Our focus is forward. We've learned, we've processed, we've ditched the stuff that potentially, I've hung on to previously. I've had the ability to park, to process, to be grateful for on a lot of levels, to acknowledge my part that we talked about, the part that I played in overcoming these obstacles, these failures, and got here. Acknowledging that, potentially in moments I was too focused on what happens after rather than the moment itself. I was too concerned on what people would think rather than just being there and enjoying the moment. And now I'm just me, people will know it. I just front and I'm just me. They know they'll get motivation. They know they'll get energy. They know they'll get incredibly enlightening, but at sometimes poor jokes. But hey, like I said, the main aim of a joke is to lighten the mood, to make one or two people laugh. Just because you don't get it or understand it doesn't make you stupid. It's just not your thing. Okay,
mate.
So just let the joke land and let it live in the room. You don't have to laugh, but you don't have to poo-poo it either.
That's right. Hey, I was going to say that I another thing that you've got to remember, and that's also some people, you know, I've had experiences recently where the way I look at things does not mesh with someone else big time. And you may never change them, but you got to remember that, well, you don't try to change them, but it's not everyone's always ready. Not everyone's in the same position to be ready to receive what you're giving, right? And that could be someone in the gym the other day, she actually said, I was talking with another person about the podcast, and she was saying, look, I'm waiting for this Instagram page to kick off because I want to see some daily DMCs, some DMC dailies. She's ready. But the other, you know, another one of the girls there, she's like, you know, I haven't listened to any yet. And I just haven't really got into podcasts yet. And I said, look, hey, the beautiful thing there is that we're just here when you are ready. When you're ready, dive in, have a little dip, have a little listen. Like, I'm not saying go and do it right now, but just know that we're always here when you are ready. And if you've got that whole attitude, and again, I pretty much live by the fourth agreement, by the four agreements right now. But if you're that type of person who doesn't take things personally, others around you may think that that's like they may not be even able to understand that. Like, how are you not angry about that? Like, they want to see you upset about something. They want to see you act the same way they do. And if you are so, you know, the old water off a duck's back about it, it can really frustrate people. And you can't always just, again, like someone dumping something on top of you that they're not ready for. So just know that it's almost just continue in the journey, and people will dip in or hear something, or over time maybe think, you know what, shit, that's a really good way to look at it. You know, and it's just all timing as well, right? You got to understand it may not be the right timing to receive what we're saying for some of you, but you know, just when you're ready, you know, when you're ready, you'll be able to take note.
Yeah, we cover so much stuff. And again, if you talk about mindfulness, some people will just switch off. If they hear a word or a trigger word and they think, okay, here we go, you know, just two positive junkies that, you know, are just going to try and tell us how to live our lives. We're not. It's not what that's not what we're about. What we're trying to do is just help you, you know, understand some of the tricks and all of the little things. Like I say, that we are no different to you. The freaks in the world, the people, we're all different. That's what makes this world a beautiful, beautiful place. Accepting there are differences, accepting the challenges, accepting there is beauty, and trying to be a massive part of it moving forward. Being in conversations that are positive, or being the positive part of a conversation. How many times are you in circles where you hear something negative or gossip, and you kind of just let it perpetuate? And people will do that. If you're in a circle of people, someone will come in, and then you find yourself playing your part, playing along. You know, you give it momentum, where you have the opportunity to actually diffuse the situation. People can get heated because they make an assumption. People hear something about a person. Well, how can you be fired up that, oh, so I heard that so-and-so said something about me? You need to confront that and say, hey, do you mind if I steer you for a minute? It got back to me that someone said you said this. And I go, no way, man. I would never say that. This is what I said, or this is how it was meant, you know? Like being called a freak.
Big time.
Freak is a positive thing. Freak is maybe a freak of nature, things that people don't understand. The fact that you are excelling, or you are in a place of immense beauty and enlightenment, that people just don't get it, and they can't put you in a box. That's what we're about. I need to put you over here. If you're a round peg in a square hole, amazing. We all are at the end of the day. We don't feel as though we have to. We're not misfits, right? We are positioned, like I say, Cody was saying, shifting his life from one place to another dramatically changes the mindset and feeling as though, you know, am I failing? Am I am I on the right path? 100%, mate. I can guarantee you're exactly where you need to be, because people need to hear the stuff you have to say. and it's made a massive impact for me, and giving us the opportunity to have those chats and do it. So, life finds the path for you. You've just got to be prepared to take those steps, to put that one foot in front of the other. And sometimes it's walking into the great unknown, but just having faith in your mission and knowing there are people that are around that if you do stumble, they'll pick you up and not judge you. Hey, and not judge you. Too many times we're in environments where it's not about us. We talk about it. If you're in an environment where you're feeling as though it's negative, where it's just not you, where you're trying day after day and you feel as though you're failing and not getting supported, maybe it's not the right environment for you. Maybe it's just not you. And you know what? That's okay, because you tried something. People always try and get us into different things. People will always try and promote different levels of whether it's activity or, both positive and negative. Do this way, do this shortcut, get this way, get fit, take this, do that, do this. And we're bombarded with it. And we try it. And all we do, if it doesn't work, is we take it personally and we say, I failed. It's not a failure. You tried it. It did not work for you. But we guarantee you out there is a place for you. Keep pushing, keep trying, keep working. Listen to the positive voices, okay? Eliminate the negative. Be about that energy. Be about that positive vibes. Navigate the stormy seas. Because if you want to keep your head above water, you've got to kick, right? You've got to kick. You do everything you can in those moments to keep your head above water. It is normal to fail. It is normal to have setbacks. But repeatedly, if you're feeling bad, if you're feeling beaten up, there are a couple of things that maybe you could look at that you could change. The environment, for sure. The people. Have they got your back?
Mate, I love that one. I change the environment, change the results. I mean, I did an Instagram post on that, I don't know how many years ago, but a big one from prime example of that for me, bro, was in the old days overseas when you're an English teacher, for example, or any workforce, but for me personally, and you're in a lunchroom, and you're sitting down at lunch and there's like 15 people around, and the negativity, like all of a sudden, the world is over, teachers support, the lunches, the food, the tables, like everyone just loves it and just dives in on it. And I remember at that time going like, I refuse to have lunch with any of this. And so I just got up and left. I'd go eat lunch either outside or go home or go for a walk. And one by one, you can recruit others that will join your party because they know they don't want to be sitting here around that shit either. So change your environment. An environment change can do wonders for all sorts of things. And just search out the one that works best for you. And don't be afraid to stand up. If you're not brave enough to say anything, I never said anything to the group, but I just used my actions, stood up, and just didn't have lunch with them ever again. I'm not going to have lunch with this group.
Yeah. Being negative is easy, team. And if you're not sure about how to find an environment, be the environment, create the environment, take responsibility. So people look to you for energy, and it can be infectious. Energy, love, acceptance, bring people in, sit down. People will want to be around that. Exclude negativity. Don't talk about it. Don't think about it. Process it. If you're in situations where you can call people up on it, do it. Do it. Well, but not in a way. But remember, not in a way that makes them feel bad. Learn to listen, know where it's coming from, because the last thing you want to do is shoot someone down. They're only recounting their version of events. If you can help them through that moment and start to understand or think a different way, I think it's really helpful. The worst thing you can do is, if someone's talking bad about someone else, is kind of make them feel bad. It doesn't make things any better. By shooting them down and thinking, geez. We can actually turn it around into a positive. How would someone feel if someone was talking about them in that way? Would they want support and love in that moment? Would you want support and love in that moment? So we can eliminate those little bits. It's all based on insecurities pumped into us. Why are we on social media? Because it's a great avenue to be able to reach out for us to get momentum. I just found out we're on about 10 other different platforms. So there are no excuses. We pushed out a little message yesterday for subscribing too. If you can, and notifications, because I noticed that people have said, oh, I listened to your first one, that's great, when's the next one? I'm like, catch up, buddy, we're recording number 5 tomorrow. And they're like, oh shit, it's on. And it is. Subscribe, you'll get the notifications.
That's right.
I caught up with a guy and said, oh, he goes, oh, awesome, mate, I'm traveling tomorrow, I'll be able to listen. I said, amazing, that's great. What a perfect opportunity to sit back if you're on a plane, if you're a passenger in a car, if you want to take time just to tune out and listen to two guys talk about a whole range of stuff, just be positive. And man, if it's helpful, cool. We love that. We want you to know that we love and accept you all, that this has been incredibly positive for us. And we hope it's been, or continues to be, super positive for you. Mate, I'll go, actually what I'll do is I'll go, because all of this failure and setbacks that we're talking about, you know, if I go back to Ironman, and yeah, I have done it before. And so I have empathy 100% for the people that were going through that event. Now, for those of you, we've talked about it before, it's an endurance event. It's a triathlon, 3.8 kilometer swim, long way, 180 kilometers on a bike, long way, marathon, 42.6 kilometer run, back to back in one day. You get 17 hours to complete the event, or you do not get registered as a finisher or get a finishing medal. Okay, 17 hours. Imagine fronting to an event that could potentially take 17 hours of continuous movement, right? You cannot stop. Talk about momentum. This is a life lesson. Now, you can prepare physically for events like this. I don't think there's any way that you can ever prepare mentally, because the saying is you take what the Ironman gives you. And it could be conditions. It's the same for everyone. Now, the top guy, Braden Curry, wow, we talk about freaks. This guy was relentless. I have never seen anybody attack an Ironman course. Fearless, but with respect, right? Fearless, but with respect. He did 7 hours and 57 minutes. 7 hours and 57 minutes, team, man, to travel that distance solo. Incredible effort, well-deserved win. The last finisher crossed the line 16 hours and 59 minutes. After that, there was one more person on the course that had continued. Someone had to pull out for a number of reasons during the day, and hats off you for even starting the event. Truly amazing. Again, it's not a failure, it's a massive success to get there. 17 hours and 2 minutes later, the final competitor literally carried to the line by 2 support people. She crossed the line, but she would not get a medal. She would not get a finishing medal. She finished the Ironman distance. Hats off to that lady, middle-aged lady. The empathy that I had in that situation, I know what it's like to hurt. I know what it's like to suffer, to see her face, to get over, to see her family, her loved ones, exhilarated. But an amazing, amazing example of courage and determination to keep moving and to stand on that course, to see the elite run through, suffering, and every subsequent person in their own level of suffering, going through their own level of torment. And again, it's a long day. You picture running a marathon by itself, picture running it absolutely buggered. I've been there, I've done it. It sucks. It sucks. Mate. But in such a great and amazing way. It's enlightening. You go to such a deep, dark place. And when the sun goes down, people are running at nighttime. And you go out to the back of the course. It's all very well surrounded by the hype of the finish, when everybody's there down the start-finish chute waiting for you. When you go 5 kilometers out towards the back end of town, up through the hills, and no one is there, that is tough. When you run back through, the amount of people that we were picking up just getting running again, you know, when you feel like you are beaten, it's amazing how such a simple thing can refocus someone and get them moving again. The amount of people that we actually managed to get running was incredible. And how long they ran for, it didn't matter, but it gave them that moment where they think, yeah, I could do this. There were people out on the course we would just keep going to say, to check in. They knew they had a supporter out there. And it was an amazing, amazing event to be a part of, just to be there. So again, if you can get there and support people, go do it. We saw a whole range of ages, sizes, ethnicities, a smaller field, obviously, because of COVID, no internationals, or fewer internationals. There were still some internationals there going. And, people are there for a whole variety of reasons, but they have an objective, and that's to touch the line. That's to cross that finish line. And I think that's kind of that life lesson. We're all doing a variety of things. We're all doing such different things, processing it in different ways, putting one foot in front of the other, continuing to move. It gets dark, it gets light, periods where we feel great, periods where we need support, and it picks us up in these moments, and all we want to do is get to that finish line. So hats off to those people that managed to do it. One blinding thing, it reminded me how I really missed running and how I really love swimming. And so, I sent you a message, bro, and I walked down to the park. I was sitting on the couch, and you can't help but be motivated. I'm like, stuff this. And I just jumped up and I walked down the park and I started running. And I ended up running just over 5Ks, slow. But that didn't matter, because what I'd done is I had all of the stuff in my head that I had to run at a certain speed, because that's what I used to do. It wasn't about what I used to do. It wasn't carrying all that stuff, that pressure, that athleticism, that training. I think about all the years, the miles, the thousands of Ks that I did in training. I didn't have that, but what I had was a passion for running and the ability to get up and just do it. And I got up and did it. And I sent you a quick message, bro. We should post it later, on the Instagram. But I felt incredible. And there were stages, usually I'm like, oh, I'll run. I haven't run in 2 years. Yeah, I'll go out and run 2K. I'll try and run incredibly fast, and I bust myself and I pull a calf and I can't run. And I'm like, oh, and that's on me. That's on me. But what I did was I went back to that joy of just moving and running. And I had a guy that was running the opposite direction to me. And he was doing little exercises. He was a bigger guy, mate, but he was chucking in the laps. He was going down. And then when I was on the last kilometre, I think it was about a 500-metre loop. So I did 10 laps of this park. People were looking at me like I was a weirdo, but he was doing some martial arts moves. I just was giving him the little shaka, showing them that I was like, yeah, bro, this is what it's all about. We were just in sync, running reverse laps. And he was like giving me the nod. And I love that. And then so 5Ks, mate, out of nowhere. So I'm going to continue to run and keep doing it.
So good.
And then swimming, the same thing. I just go down the pool. I haven't swum in, I don't know how long, mate, a long time. But again, I love the process of swimming. It's meditative in the state that you get in. All you focus on is the water, and you have it surging past the body. Water is energy. It's an amazing substance that we can use. And that was my mentality. I jumped in and did 82 lengths, just over 2 kilometers nonstop. And I was like, how the hell did this happen when I used to panic about swimming 1 length? And I thought, yeah, I just C word, can't swim. I just can't swim. I just wouldn't. I loved it. But just the people that have motivated me to get into a state where I could do that again. Thank you so much for all of those competitors and supporters out there. There was actually a young lady that approached, she was supporting there, and she said, oh man, you'd be an awesome hype man. I've got to run a marathon in under 3 hours. You should come up to Hawke's Bay and be my hype man. I'm like, shit, yeah, I'm all over it. Listen to the potty. Yeah. That D.M.C.
Here's my business card, mate. Here's my card.
Here's my business card. That D.M.C. Deep and meaningful chats with Adam and Cody. Get in, have a listen, because that's what we're all about, eh?
Bro,
if you think you can do it, you can do it.
You can do it. And I love what you were saying, and this is what we need to apply, is that and we've all been there in a workout or a race or a run, and in your head, you were probably telling yourself, fucking give up. Why am I doing this shit for? It takes one person to say, you got this, bro. And you're like, boom, change of mindset. It's crazy. And like you're saying, picking up all those runners and the lady seeing it. And it's like, don't ever write that one comment off and think like, oh, I shouldn't encourage that person that's running because they won't want to hear from me. Oh, they'll probably tell me to shut up.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? If they're in pain, one positive word could be all it takes for them to get another 5K or to finish the whole event. And so I think about in life, an encouraging word in life when you're having a tough day, or a, hey bro, I listened to your podcast that fucking was sick, and you're like, yeah, it means something. Okay, I'm going to do more. You know, it's cool, man.
And the funny thing to come out of endurance events is one saying that when you're in the box and you're hurting and people are going, you're looking good, you're like, bullshit, because it's just a mindset. And I kind of reframed it. I said, you are always going to feel worse than you look. You're looking great.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, and it's just a different way to say the same thing, because you feel when everything's unraveling, you know, remember to eat, remember to drink. You're always going to feel worse than you look. You're looking great. Let's go. You can do this. And someone actually turned around and said, do you think I can do it? 2 words. One of them was yes. And the first one started with F. And mate, she was gone. She crushed it.
Mate,
crushed it.
One action, mate. Or bro, fucking like chin up or eyes up. Like, because again, put your head up, raise your body, change your body the way you're doing shit. All these little things, can have a massive effect. You know, it's
be proud of that. Be proud of showing up. Walk in,
chin up.
Lift the chest,
head high.
Posture. Posture is power, people. Take that positive posture into every situation.
Stand like fucking Superman. Like stand like Superman,
well,
mate. Hands on sides.
Easy for you to say, buddy, because you're built. Easier for you to say because you're built like Superman. All right. Ruben has it that he wears his underpants. He wears his underpants on the outside too, folks. It's all.
Mate, I'm not going to stand up. I'm not going to stand up. Hey, bro, another one, mate. Just so we've got everyone listening right now, the D.M.C Instagram account. People are starting to follow. We've been discussing the mission here. We're going to call that. It's going to be a part of our daily or our D.M.C daily. We will be popping up exactly what Adam talked about before. A short 1 minute. It's all 1 minute. Our mission there will be to provide daily pieces of like daily nuggets, hey bro, where it's like, I don't think we'll be doing many photos because, as you probably tell if you follow us already on Instagram, it's probably a bit more of an obstacle, whereas talking and posting a video will not be. We know we can deliver on that. So we'll be doing a daily D.M.C. And
DMC.
I reckon we've got one already with Adam's post regarding his 5K the other day, but Monday, we're kicking that bad boy off Monday. So if you haven't followed yet,
serve and return, mate. Serve and return.
That's right.
And why we wanted to continue the conversations, because I think photos can be static. We all stare at them, but if we can give just a quick reset, a quick how you doing, couple of things that we're doing, moments maybe of gratitude, challenges that we are facing. You know, walking to the gym, taking those footsteps. We are all the same. We're all facing similar stuff, team. Like I say, it's a super challenging time for us all. And all we can do, our absolute best, to be the best we can be. Do what you are doing for you, and everyone around you will benefit. People love you. People support you. That's a great thing. You're an individual. You're unique. You're wonderful, powerful. And we love you guys. We seriously love you guys. Okay. Be proud of your effort. Be proud of your energy. Be the positive environment for people to gravitate to. Remove the negative or retrain the negative elements in your life. Give them the opportunity. Listen. Okay. Take the time to listen. Remember, it is their truth. No judgment, no assumptions. Absorb it. Help people through negative patches as well. Take the responsibility to do it, as we are taking the responsibility seriously to help you guys. And again, the appreciation is off the charts for the support. If this is number 5 and you've listened for all 5, that officially means you get your bronze star of D.M.C listening excellence, and you go into our High Flyers Club.
Hell yeah, mate. Big time. Mate, like I said, I've got a couple of like regular frothers that listen and tell me the stories about them applying some of the stuff we talked about. And oh mate, like we said, we always say, if it's one person that takes it and runs with it, mate, we are stoked. We are super stoked. And so if you are doing that, keep those shares up, keep the comments coming. We really appreciate it. Love it.
Yeah, and remember, team, like we say, failure is inevitable. Okay, don't have regrets. Don't live your life with regrets. If no regrets, if it was meant to be, it would have been. The reason you failed, all right, is the reason you're here today. We sit on top of our failures, you know, as a result of all of them. We've learned, we've overcome, and we are here now. It did not stop us. It did not even for a moment push us off our path, our destiny. It motivated us. Okay, so if you are failing repeatedly, continue to push, continue to learn from those failures, process them. Okay, view it positively, because that's what the process is. It's how we learn. It's how we learn stuff. Think about Cody was saying about walking. You know, there was a time when we couldn't even walk, where we fell over repeatedly. We are the ability to run, and I will run.
Fuck yes. All right, champions. This has been a freaking journey. And again, we appreciate you all tuning in. Get out there, fucking enjoy your day, your week, your month, your year, the moment. Enjoy this moment right now. And we'll see you all again next week and on Monday for your D.M.C. Daily. So don't forget.
We love you guys so much. Thanks. Just continue to stay positive. Be the energy in the room. Be the light. We'll see you next week. Reach out to us. Don't forget, subscribe, notifications. Do it.
Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Peace.
Peace. See ya.